Hello, I am doing a flip post for Foote or Foote, pages 127 through 139. The first thing that I wanted to touch base on was the fact that Anglo women didn't really understand the Nuevo Mexicanos when they got here. They were accustomed to how they lived. They didn't really want to be here. They came here to follow their husbands because their husbands, like for instance, didn't succeed where they were. So they thought, I'm going to follow my husband. He'll succeed there and then we can leave. Little did they know, some of them actually did like it here. There was a census done in 1950, I believe, or 1850. And there was 30 Anglo women in the state of Santa Fe, or in the city of Santa Fe. And in 10 years later, when they did another census, there was only 2 Anglo women left from those 30 women that were here. They didn't really want to learn Spanish at first, but some of them did so that they can have like conversations with their servants and stuff. And then they realized that it was harder, and then they noticed that their children was actually learning better. So their children learned Spanish before they could, in a sense. The way that the Anglo women and the Hispanic women treated their children were very differently. Like Anglo women, they wanted to, nourish their kids. They got them vaccinated. They made sure that they didn't go outside a lot because they didn't want them to get sick. They also wanted their children to be well educated, which they didn't really have here. So they would send their kids off to the east to be educated so that they could have a better life and higher education. But that caused like a separation issue between the mother and the children. Anglo women were also fond of the New Mexico land because it was like clean air and there wasn't like cholera or yellow fever, but there was smallpox here. So Anglo women, they would vaccinate their children, but Hispanic women didn't really believe in vaccinations yet. They used like home remedies and made their own herbs, but this didn't treat smallpox. So they would let their kids go outside and run around. And then when it came to infant death or child death, Anglo people would mourn their children for longer periods of time. But then when Anglo women were observing a Hispanic infant death, funeral, they would celebrate and play joyful music. And one Anglo woman decided to ask, why are you acting like this? And they said, well, when a child dies, they are now free of all sorrows and burdens on this earth, and they are no longer suffering. So that helped the Anglo women have more insight onto why they acted the way they did. Cultural differences, they really never clashed with each other. And that was mainly because Hispanics didn't want to accept the Anglos and Anglos didn't want to accept the Hispanics. They're very culturally different. But the Anglo women did have an influence on the Hispanic women because they did like how they were dressing, what they looked like. They wanted to borrow dresses and make their own dresses that looked like their dresses. And they wore bonnets and scarves and all this stuff. And so that's how Anglo women influenced Hispanic women for the most part. They never really came together and made remedies together or combined their thoughts on how to treat their children. They just stayed apart when it came to stuff like that. So that's all I got.